Hi everybody, it's Ned from the Allergics. We've got a gig tonight in Heckman White with Under The Cosh, and I've got the singer Bon with me.
Right,
so,
mate.
Hi mate. So, right Bon, tell me a little bit about the band and where the name came from.
Well, I came up with a name, it seems like a long while ago now and that sort of thing, but it just seemed to epitomise our situation and that sort of thing. You know, obviously Under The Cosh and that.
Yeah.
And it seems to have fit in with the street punk oi thing pretty well.
Yeah.
And that actually, when we played with Haymaker and Crowborough down here in Camden, and,
yeah.
And there's a lot of German fans, and they were actually coming up and asking me, because it's like it's not a catchphrase to us, it's a bit in translation. They were asking about that sort of thing, which was interesting. And that was a real good gig that was actually.
Excellent. That was Haymaker, yeah.
Yeah, and, is it Crowborough?
Oh, Crowborough, yeah.
Pascal.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Getting interrupted there, but that's
Be there in a minute.
Getting heckled. So, how long's the band been going?
Well, in the first place, well, must be 10 years or so. But initially, in that sort of thing, you won't believe it, but there's two females, Kaz, partner, and that, and Fiona, they were in it.
Yeah.
Doddy, me, and other people, and it wasn't really out and out punk sort of thing. It's a bit alternative punky sort of thing and that, but it all fell apart and whatever. And then since that, I think we've all done other bands and that sort of thing and that. And then they asked if a few years ago if we'd get it back together and sort of like be a bit more specific. Well,
a bit of different direction,
yeah. Sort of. Well, because I saw a chap in there with the English Dogs t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, Wake is one of my real big mates and that sort of thing. And I was to do with English Dogs in the first place. It's been a long journey for me because you know Resistance.
Of course I do. Yeah.
Well, when I was doing this band, Naked Prey and whatnot, which was more like a bit gothic, but sort of Theatre of Eight, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We actually got 2 tracks on this album, Rock Records, I think it was, 2.99 and that, and Resistance were on there.
Yeah.
All that time. I mean, it just shows you how long you've been messing around trying to do stuff and whatever and that sort of thing. Yeah, so I've done a lot of bands, you know, even some electro type stuff and that sort of thing. I was in a band called Nimbus and that.
Okay.
When I was in Brighton and that, we did all right. Yeah, several times in the journey of the thing, you know, we've had a lot of interest, you know, in bands that have been around. It's not just quite worked out. I suppose everybody.
So
that's
on this one, what who came up with the idea of coming along the street punk sort of route? Well,
it was sort of like. Well, you know, I sort of like I'm a big football fan and that. You know, I know people say, "Oh, it's the hooligan type thing," and that, and all. I've been at all that stuff because I'm a Millwall fan. Since the late '70s when I was a kid or whatever. But I go and see Grantham a lot because it's my hometown team and that and whatever. I went up to Millwall against Hull recently. And that. But it's harder now and that, and you know, and whatnot and that sort of thing. But but the main thing was Doddy. He's always been into punk and that sort of thing and that, where you know, like you know the Rejects, that you know the Last Resort, Roy and that, he's a Millwall fan and whatever and that sort of thing, and it was just a thing we thought, what are we about and that. Well, my thing for me, you know, it's like early Dexys Midnight Runners and even the Small Faces, you know, the gang type thing, a bit of swagger and make it, you know, what we did want to do is try and put some melodies in a bit more and be, you know, make it a bit different sort of thing and that. And we just we weren't that great when we first got to him. We had another drummer and that sort of thing, Nick, but he left, and Parky's in there and that, you know, obviously Doddy and Dick and Dean, and we just thought, you know, what we're going to do. It ended up, you know, being in that sort of thing because we really like that, you know, those bands and that,
absolutely,
and everything. So that's how we got into it, really.
So your songs and your lyrics is this kind of football related in amongst that, or is it just general life, politics?
The general thing. Let's be honest, everybody
has a little bit of.
But everybody in this scene, you know, I know, people skirt about a lot of stuff. You know, there's all this thing, don't play with them, do this, where and all this sort of thing. You get tarred with things and whatever and that sort of thing, and it's. I think it's a great scene, and I just think we've got this new song called Mark for Glory. It might sound a bit like, oh, bullying us up, but really it's sort of bullying the scene up, really.
Absolutely,
and the people who are still going against the odds, and that's younger bands have come through, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely,
And the Crown Court now, they're seeming to be taking the mantle.
Yeah, you've got Rise Up coming.
Rise Up. We played with them at that Stoke venue. Sadly, it sounds like it's gone now, doesn't it? That sort of thing. And Tear Up.
I've Tear Up coming, one of my Bradford gigs.
Oh, excellent! They're a good bunch, and that's Load. We played with Load and that sort of thing, and the Glory. We played a good gig.
All good mates of ours.
They're real good lads. That was a good do at Leicester. I think it was one of them's birthdays, bashes or something.
Timo's,
There's been loads of good, sort of the Sentence we played at Wakefield, not far from here, and that sort of thing. And then just recently, like one that we didn't think we'd get, played with the Rejects in Nottingham with Risky and the Ridicule. Now, they were good as well. And it was a real good gathering.
Good gig for you. It's good to get a bit of exposure for yourselves. You're playing those kind of gigs, isn't it? Yeah.
That's it. It just sort of gives you a bit of a boost and that sort of thing.
It does, because sadly, I mean, rightly or wrongly, as people just go watch those kind of gigs, just go and watch main headliners, and they get quite surprised when they see a band like Under The Cosh, a band like the Allergics come on. And it gives us that.
You're not.
It gives that. You feel better for it as well.
Well, that's it. When you get a little opportunity, it always boosts things. Because a couple of weeks ago, I was at the Bikers pub in Culver, Victoria, playing with Kid Clumsy and some other. There wasn't loads of people there, and that sort of thing, I have to say, sort of thing, and that. But it's another different sort of band that you probably won't play with that. And that, you've got to strike up, because we've played some homeless dudes. One in Nottingham, one in Boston.
The Sumac Centre.
That's an eye opener.
A front room.
But old matey runs in that's a nice play, and that was different to that sort of thing. The funny thing about the Boston one was at Boston United's old ground in the social club, and a few years before that I was seeing Grantham in a linked cup match there or something. Obviously moved to a new ground there, but now they've got that social club playing there, and apparently Glenn Matlock, and somebody says Leo Sayers coming or something or whatever, and that sort of thing, and that. But the album that we did, Better Late Than Never.
I was going to ask about that one.
Where we did that, and it seemed to really strike a chord and that sort of thing, and that Pascal put it out on a limited vinyl and that sort of thing. And we've had, you know yourself that you get on a bit of different radio type things like that, but I don't know if somebody was saying, was it the chap out of Craig also was saying he wanted to get Oi again and street punk in the mainstream. I mean, that's a great goal, but it's a tall order.
It's a very tall order, it is, absolutely. So do you class yourselves as a street punk band, or as an Oi band, or a mixture of both, or old school, a bit of punk and everything mixed in?
I would say it's a bit of everything. We say blue collar rock and roll and that sort of thing, and that, because we do, know Stu out of Conflict, the drummer, and he's in 999, and he's from Grantham and that sort of thing. Because from Grantham, even I've lived all over. I've lived in Derby, and that sort of thing, and that sort of thing. There's got English Dogs obviously from there and that sort of thing, and that Stu's from there. Old matey out Sleaford mods that Chase, so that he's from there. I like some of his stuff and whatever that, but I suppose people
taste of your own, that one, I think.
What you'd probably say, screaming egos. sometimes you can, but I mean, Doddy put me onto him.
So
sort of thing,
what's 2023 hold for Under the Cosh then?
Well, we've got after this, we're hoping bizarrely to be playing with Johnny Moped next week.
Okay.
In Nottingham.
Mix it up.
Yeah, well that's it. I mean, got offered and that sort of, because sometimes you think, oh, but you know, he's back from the day, and that sort of thing, and that, and then we've got the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I've seen that when you're on that one. Yeah,
and then another one I think you're putting on is in Bradford.
Yes, you're on that one. Yeah, that's with Tear Up. Yeah,
that would be good. And
Tear Up Load and the Forbes. Yeah, that's could be a good gig, that one.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so you know, we're just doing what we can, and we've got some new recordings of some new songs that might be on the
playing any tonight.
Yeah, playing a couple of new ones, Once Warriors and that sort of thing. You know, it gets to things where you're remembering all the words to all these songs and that.
Right,
well, enjoy seeing you.
Yeah, brilliant, thank you.
And that sort of thing.
So we've got to wrap it up now, we're running out of time. But
yeah, exactly.
Thanks
I mean, you could go.
We can.
The history.
We really enjoy the night. Have a good night.
Yeah, same tune.
Yeah,
good.
All right, cheers.
Rock on. Cheers, mate.
All right, thanks.